Welcome back to the Solutions Series, brought to you by DoubleRadius and hosted by Jeff Holdenred. Today we have some wonderful guests with us today from Cambium, and we're going to talk about CNHeat. So gentlemen, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Shihad Gabra. I'm the product line manager within Cambium. I manage the EPMP and I also co-manage the QE and also the right now I'm new to CNHeat and Link Planner.
I'm Seth Poche. I am a technical lead for the CNHeat for RF planning tools, I guess in general, but especially for CNHeat. So I've kind of been there since day one and trying to figure everything out for everyone.
So gentlemen, today we're going to talk about CNHeat, and this is a powerful tool. It's something that I've used quite a bit, and it's a great propagation tool. But can you kind of give our viewers, a quick overview of what exactly CNHeat is?
Sure. So CNHeat does heat maps, and it's different than most tools in that it uses really, really high resolution data. What we've kind of known, I think, over time is that one of the hardest things to do, especially in 5 gigahertz, is to predict that one tree that might be in the path that's blocking signal. And without really high resolution data, it's hard to make that prediction. At the same time, how do you know that tree is there? And so Lidar data has been recently released. It's incredibly accurate. An airplane will fly overhead. It will send out something like 200,000 pulses per second of laser. And as the pulse goes out, it's measuring things. And you get this, true 3D kind of picture of what the landscape looks like. And even a tree or a home or whatever it may be that's an obstacle or obstruction, we get to see that actually in the model. And so it lets us be able to model in ways we've never been able to model before with a really high level of accuracy and precision and confidence that we've not been able to do before.
I know that there's a lot of different terms that are used in, propagation studies and everything. I know you guys use clutter data for link planner, and this you're using Lidar data, but can you explain to everyone kind of the accuracy of Lidar data or what the differences are between the two?
Right, so the Lidar data that we get, it's usually from public sources. It's usually within just a few centimeters of accuracy. We actually downconvert it. We downsample it to 1 meter resolution. We don't ever know the quality of the Lidar that we're going to get. Sometimes it's just encoded with different information, like it might already have, classification. It might have just very intensity, various things. And we never know what we're going to get. So we kind of convert ours to generalize all of our Lidar so that it's kind of all the same going into the tool. So we down convert to 1 meter, but the underlying data, which shines through a lot, is usually within a few centimeters. So if they're showing the top of a tree at 30 feet above ground, they're typically seeing that within a few centimeters. And that's kind of the beauty that gets carried over.
So CNHeat is not a new tool. I mean, it's something that you guys have had for a while, but how did it all kind of come to fruition?
Yeah, it started with kind of an internal mandate. We were having trouble, customers that were new to Cambium were having trouble understanding what they could expect from equipment, especially in the 5 gigahertz range. And so we had some customers that were deploying in 5 gigahertz. They were trying to, use it in a scenario that would probably be considered near line of sight or non-line of sight. It wasn't going well for them, and they were kind of coming back to us asking, okay, if I'm doing it wrong, tell me how I'm doing it wrong. And we were really left with, this problem where traditional tools just don't show you accurately what will work and won't work, because you're kind of modeling generalized trees. You're not modeling exact trees of reality, So it's that's kind of what led to it. It was, how are we going to solve this problem? Lidar, I think, was the solution. And it brought its own challenges. It's incredibly difficult to process, especially at this resolution, but that's kind of where we've been in this journey, is figuring out how to take the Lidar, how to process it, and make these accurate predictions.
So we know CNHeat covers a lot of different frequencies. Can you kind of get into kind of what frequencies we can actually propagate in CNHeat and actually show real world scenarios?
Yeah, today we're set up, we support between 2 gig and 6 gig for our standard heat maps. We haven't included anything below 2 gig at the moment because we have at 1 meter resolution. Again, these are really, really detailed heat maps, and so we limit our range to 8 miles. A lot of times that's not very useful if you're considering 900 megahertz or something like that. So today we support 2 to 6. We also support 28 gig and also 60 gig.
So talking about all those frequencies, we talk about CBRS and 3 gigahertz. So does this also model, near and non-line of sight?
That's right. We've kind of grown. The first release of CNHeat only did line of sight, and now that we've released CBRS, we added non-line of sight. And so now we add non-line of sight capability to all of our predictions that run. So if it's, well, all of them that are 6 gig or below. So if it's 6 gig or below, we'll automatically run line of sight and also non-line of sight at the same time.
That's really cool when you kind of see the differences and look at the near line of sight and also the line of sight and all the different maps that come out with the non-line of sight. Now, with CNHeat, you have CN Locate and also CN Identify. Can you explain the differences between the two?
Yeah, so we have two different kind of components to CNHeat today. We have Locate, which is actually the heat map, and then Identify, which is the buildings and the addresses. And so not only can we do a heat map, which that's incredibly valuable, but we can also do this Identify. And in Identify, we can provide, what we do is we load the building footprints and we compare it to the coverage, and we can basically give you the lat and longs of every building that's covered, or we can send that off to a third party and get the addresses. And those are CAS certified addresses, so they're gonna go through, the USPS isn't gonna send them back to you. And you can use those for marketing or any other kind of verification that you do cover certain locations.
So perhaps Identify says is best used for an AP, right? So if you would like to know what is the best location for an AP, Identify is what to use.
Yeah, you can. I mean, Identify will show you all the various places that you can connect. And so having that related to your various APs could be very useful.
So really, if you put the two together, what I'm hearing here is that if I'm a wireless service provider, I can use CN Locate to kind of see my coverage areas, find out if I'm actually deploying in the right areas to serve the areas, and then I can use CN Identify to take those addresses and focus my marketing efforts on the people that I can actually connect to and sign up today, and not burn a lot of time with the ones that I might not be able to serve today. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly right.
So really, it's a work smarter, not harder. Spend a few dollars now and actually make a smart investment on your future and grow exponentially beyond that. So I really like that. That's cool. So now that we've seen a few trade shows this year, and we've kind of heard you guys start hinting and talking about what's going to be called CNHeat 2.0. Can you kind of give us a little bit of an explanation on what the differences are between the original model of CNHeat and what 2.0 will bring to the table?
Right. So in 1.0, we spent a lot of time working on the tools that we needed to be able to do these really difficult calculations. And they were internal tools that we were writing, and unfortunately they were hard to use. We couldn't just release them to our customers. So in 1.0, if you wanted to run a prediction, you had to provide a spreadsheet or a link planner project. You had to send it to us. We would process it on the back end with our production team and then send you the results. And what we've done with 2.0 is essentially we've encapsulated those tools. We've put them in a web front end. And so now users can run their own predictions. They don't have to rely on us. Once we process the Lidar for an area, they can go out, they can run their own predictions and do their own what-if scenarios.
So really now it's going to be like a user-friendly application, and they won't rely so much on sending us information or you and I chatting as much, huh?
Unfortunately.
So I'm really looking forward to playing with 2.0 and kind of seeing all the ins and outs of it. But now let's get into the client. So we know that the WISPs are going to benefit from this powerful tool. So what other markets or what other solutions do you see that could benefit from using CNHeat and 2.0?
Yeah, so WISP is definitely kind of our primary target, but we do see a lot in industrial We see a lot of oil and gas. I mean, they're going out there, they're spending a lot of money, a lot of investment. They have to know it works. And they're covering large areas. And so, you don't want to go and do a site survey for everything there. That's been kind of a big one. We also see a lot of uptick in CNHeat when it comes to funding. So anytime you have to apply for a grant or anything like that, whether it's as a WISP or whether it's some educational purpose, or with COVID we have the CARES Act and everything that's going into that and making sure that people are connected. You want to be able to show with confidence that you're going to be able to pull off what you're saying. And so we have a lot of customers who have come to us and said, hey, we're looking to apply for this grant, and we need to be able to show what we can do. And at that point, it's not just about handing something over that looks good so you get the funding, but it's really that you're not trapping yourself, that you're not signing up for something that you can't commit. And so there's a lot of peace of mind for these operators when they sign up with CNHeat for that purpose. Jihad, can you think of any other scenarios that we've used CNHeat for?
No, you mentioned all of them. So there's obviously there's federal grants that are present, and this is where the last discussion that you had.
So when we move into 2.0, is this going to be priced out as like a subscription service, as a pay one-time fee? How is that going to be done? I know in 1.0 it was done per tower basis, but how is 2.0 going to look as a subscription fee or one-time fee?
All of our products right now for CNHeat is basically subscription, which means that you buy it for a particular term. Mm-hmm. And the term basically that we offer, that is besides 60 gigahertz, we offer is 1 year, 3 years, and 90 days. And the 1 year and 3 years, there is an option of paying it upfront or paying it in quarterly installments. As far as 60 gigahertz is almost a mirror image of the top, but it's a different part number.
No, it's a great explanation on how that's going to be priced out. And, the reason why I wanted you to go through that is because, we use this tool all the time. We share this tool with our clients, and we show them the power of this tool. And then we price it out, and they literally jaw drop. Like, they cannot believe kind of how price effective or cost effective it actually is for this tool. That is very helpful for the client, and thanks for the explanation on that. Now, we know that CNHeat is Cambium Networks, and we know that this works with all the products that Cambium offers. But, there's a lot of different manufacturers out there that create LTE gear, create 5 gig gear. So can this actually be used to show propagation or locate or identity, for other manufacturers or other products that are available today?
That's right. For 6 gig and below, we are very much vendor agnostic. As long as we can get an antenna pattern for our sector for the tower side, we can import that into our system, and we are happy to do that and let customers run their own equipment. We hope that CNHeat kind of shows the power of the Cambium equipment, but we recognize that not all of our customers are using Cambium, and I think we're okay with that. When it gets to 28 gig and 60 gig, it's a little bit tougher. Those products have a lot more secret sauce in them, and it's a little bit harder to model them without knowing what's going on behind the scenes. So for those two products, we only offer Cambium equipment, but for everything 6 gig and below, it's as long as we can get an antenna pattern, and we have a lot. I mean, we have tons of competitor antennas already in there, and then tons of just third-party antennas as well. And so happy to support whatever customers want. We're very much vendor agnostic.
So is there anything that we're missing here? Is there anything else that the viewers need to know about CNHeat?
It's a great product.
Yeah, I would add that I think for a lot of the more experienced guys, being able to accurately predict, especially like in a pre-qualification situation where you're trying to determine, do I need to roll a truck to this location? For a lot, people have been burned before, and they don't believe that there is a good product out there that will do this. And so they kind of go back to their own experience. I would say, try it. We offer demos for new customers. So a new customer, we have a form you can fill out. We can give you a demo site. Run it on a site that you already have deployed and see, compare it to what you already know to be there. Compare it to your installs that have been successful, compare it to the ones that have failed. And we believe you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is, you could either spend a lot of money trying to figure out where the location of a install gonna be, or you could use software tools that will allow you to save all that money and know where to install very accurately, or perhaps optimize the installation, right? Right.
That's right.
And also from a marketing perspective, the WISP, if they know the addresses of where to target their market, that is also a great saving.
No, it's all good information. That's great. I mean, I've been using this tool for a while now. It's very powerful. I highly recommend, if you have not played with this tool or used it, please, fill out the demo form, reach out to your sales rep, talk about pricing, talk about the solution it is. It's almost like they should have called it, CN Crystal Ball, because you actually get to see what you're going to deploy and what it's going to look like and the success you're going to get out of that area before you even get there. So, please use the tool. Reach out to us, talk to us about how this can help you. And I hope this has been, educational for everyone. And we look forward to seeing you again next time on the Solution Series. Thank you.